Hey you guys, how's it going? The other day we had a call with Gabe. He's one of the co-founders of APUÁ Agroecológico, which is a yerba mate producer located in southern Brazil. We had a really fascinating talk about mate production, permaculture versus monoculture, and the traditional drying method, barbacoa, and how it affects the flavor and how it's like a portal to the past when enjoying mate. So yeah, let's have a listen to what he has to say. It was a really fascinating conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy. Very cool. Awesome, Gabe. Well, thank you so much for connecting with us. You are with tell what's the name of your business and everything like that.
We're called APUÁ Agroflorestal. So APUÁ means in Quechua, the Inca language, it means mountains, basically. So we live really close to a mountain range. So that's why we gave it this name. And agroflorestal, because we work with organic and agroforest systems. So they're all regenerative agriculture styles. So we're always planting the mate trees with many other native species and other exotic trees as well, fruit trees and timber trees. So instead of doing a monoculture, we do it shaded and regenerative. So that's why we have it in our name, in our brand's name, the style of agriculture we work with and we believe in.
How does shaded agriculture change the final product of what you see it and when you're drinking your shimahao?
So the shade, the mate tree, it's considered a a tree that only happens in advanced forest systems. So only when the forest has evolved enough will the mate tree be present in a native forest. So that's its natural habitat. It likes to grow in a shaded area. So we do this by imitating. Instead of going into an old growth forest, we produce the habitat of an old growth forest by planting trees that will grow really fast and will shade it. And since this is the habitat of this tree, it likes the shaded areas. So that's where it will produce the more bioavailable, uh, how to say it in English, compostos phenólicos.
Uh,
Um,
f-
they're the compounds that will give the taste, the aroma, more caffeine, more theobromine, more theophylline. It'll be a more complex product.
for sure.
Um, so yeah, that's the reason why.
And for those who might not know, how is like commercially grown yerba mate grown? It's not shade based, right? It's pure sun, or do you have any idea?
Um, Here in Paraná, in our state, we still have a lot of commercial plantations being shaded, but they're slightly shaded and not really. They have one or two species at most doing the shading. Um, so it's almost a greenwashing because, there's a tree here and another one there, and it's slightly shaded, and it'll say, "Oh, well, it's super shaded," when in reality it's not. They might have like 20 trees per hectare that are doing this shading, while we have up to 500 different trees in a hectare.
Wow.
Um, Other than the 1,800 mate trees.
Wow.
So for every one mate tree, we'll have maybe, actually, for three to four mate trees, we'll have one species of shading tree. Here in Paraná, they will kind of do this, but not really. And in other states like Rio Grande do Sul and especially Argentina and Paraguay, they'll do just monocultures, regular monocultures with a lot of chemical uh, fertilizers and pesticides and all that monoculture style agriculture.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did this forest that you guys created, how did it all start then basically?
Well, when we first started growing here, it was already a really old mate plantation. So we had a few trees. that were still producing, but most of them were really old and starting to rot. So
Oh,
we planted more, and we already had this shade system going on with the araucarias, and we obviously we let all of them, and we started planting more. So we already had this sort of shaded environment, and since I want to, in the future, I want to produce also fruits, native fruits, I started planting fruits together with the mate trees. So yeah, these trees will take a really long time because they're native trees. They take a long time to start producing.
for
So
sure.
maybe in 15, 20 years, they'll start the production.
Wow.
But yeah, I have to plant them in order to see it produce at some point.
Exactly for those fruits.
So yeah, this is how we already had the shade, and we're implementing it with more diversity, more species, endangered species as well. That'll never harvest anything out of it, but it's just trees for regenerating the environment. Yeah.
And when did this all start? In what year?
Well, I moved here 2019, so 2020, it's when we actually started planting, and yeah, when everything started.
And that was when you had your first harvest, or was the first harvest in 2020 or?
No, no, no. First harvest was 2024, was last year.
Okay. Wow. So this is super, super fresh stuff then.
Yeah, yeah. Officially, yeah. I did harvest like really, really small batches where I would make like tw 10, 20 kilos per time.
Yeah.
But that was just like trying it out and understanding how it all happened. Yeah.
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 And last week you had another batch. You just did your batch, the new batch this year, no?
It was the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
Last one before spring starts. So just like we did it last week, I think, yeah. And this week they're all starting to sprout, and yeah. So we can't do it anymore. Well, we could, but the quality is just not as good.
For sure, for sure. That's incredible. What's something that a lot of people who drink mate might not realize goes on during the production of creating their favorite drink?
Wow, lots of things. Um,
Or maybe if you can't think of that, I don't know if you had experience with mate production before going to this in 2019. What's something that shocked you when you were learning how to do this?
Well, something that's really funny that most people don't realize, in Portuguese, anyways, it's called erva,
Hmm.
which literally means herb.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not an herb, it's a tree. Like a full-grown tree. It's like
Ah,
an
yeah, yeah.
actual tree. So when people are drinking it, they'll think it's like, I don't know, chamomile or um, mint. I don't know, some tiny herb, but it's an actual tree. So we harvest the leaves of this tree, and many people actually have no idea. And well, because it's literally called an herb. Um,
Right.
so yeah,
Huh,
and
I
if
never
in
thought of
Brazil
that.
people don't know that, I think outside Brazil that's even more complex to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
outside of South America, people think yerba mate or yerba machi can be like a lot of things,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Come from the
yeah.
rounds of it's like this magical, mystical, hippie stuff that'll like help you ascend to the next dimension, or it can
It
be this
could.
cool natural weight loss tool, or it can be
Yeah,
a natural like caffeine alternative, things like that. I think definitely like the health benefits that exist definitely are more marketed more so than just like this is a drink you can, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, outside of our reality, I don't know what's really marketed as what it is, because here in Brazil we're just like so used to it. It's just like another daily product that you just buy and you use it, and that's it. So there is no marketing behind it. We don't really have to sell it because everyone knows it, everyone drinks it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, now it's starting even here. All these health benefits are starting to be more noticed and more studied. I know quite a few people, friends of mine, of um, people close to me that are reducing their coffee consumption to consume more mate because the caffeine in it, it's more stable, it's more balanced. It's a long lasting without a peak caffeine. Yeah, the effects of the caffeine are different than coffee, which are really intense and peak really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, these all these health benefits are becoming more known and more studied, which is really good.
And how does the mate that you make, how does it compare to say other kinds that are out there in the market, like flavor wise, etc. Like, you know, is it like how would you describe it for someone that's never that wanted to taste it for the first time? And yeah.
Well, the mate we make, it's the traditional method. So up to the 1980s or so, this was the only kind of mate that was made, which was dried directly with fire. So it's really artisanal, very labor intensive, and we depend 100% on the fire to dry it. There are no machines that will turn it, and it's just fire. So it's an indirect fire, but it's with wood fire. So there's a really present smoked aroma in it, and it's slightly more bitter than the traditional mate that we're used to drink because of this smoked flavor. And I'm not exactly 100% sure why, but I do think it's because of the slow drying process. Since we dry it with fire, it takes a really long time to dry out completely. Anywhere from 20 to 30 hours of direct fire, while an industrial traditional one will be dried in anywhere from, I don't know, like 30 minutes to 3 hours. This is like 30 minutes is a really fast
Wow.
drying industrial process, and 3 hours, it's a slower industrial process, but it's still industrial. So the slowest industrial is 3 hours, while we could take up to 30 hours. So it's
So
like
you're
this
there
huge
for 30
difference.
hours, putting wood on the fire, making sure that
Yeah,
everything's perfect
yeah,
temperature and everything.
yeah. So the time it takes for it to dry will make it will have different components to it, right? I'm not sure exactly the chemistry behind it and what really happens, but I've noticed that if I start drying it out and I take a few leaves, like just the leaves, before it's totally dried, and I drink it, and I drink it in the end when everything is completely dry, it'll be two completely different flavors. So the time it takes, and when it comes to the end, it's more bitter. It's a little bit stronger. Um, so yeah, that's the main difference. I think the smoke flavor and the slightly more bitter.
What does the harvest process look like then? So basically, before you're gonna throw it into the fire, is it just you're chopping down leaves, or like what does that look like? And then is it everything happening all at once? So like you do step one, step two, like all at the same time, and like you get a big chunk done in like 4 days, or like what's the time pipeline to create this little bag of joy?
Yeah. So we have this 24 hours at most. Well, that's what we work with. In the industry, it can take up to 3 days after the harvest for it to be processed, but we don't do it more than 24 hours. So we harvest it on one day, and on the next day, really early in the morning, we start the process. So we don't let it sit after it's being harvested more than 24 hours. Before, we used to do it on the same day, So we would spend the whole day harvesting, and then we would come at night and start it at night and just go all the night over.
Wow.
It was too much. Yeah. It was way too intense. So I tried out doing it in the morning, and but it didn't really make a difference. The product was still amazing, perfect.
Absolutely.
No big issues. But if you do it maybe 3 days later, then that's going to be a problem. Um, so yeah, we prune the trees, right? The really thick branches, we go pruning in them, and after we prune them, we break it with our hands, only the really thin stems with the leaves, put it in the bag, take the bag to the industry. um, then we dry it. So there's two processes for it to be actually dried out. It's not just the drying. There's a process before that's called the sapeco, which is a really intense fire.
Okay.
And the leaves will just pass through this fire for a couple of seconds, maybe more than a couple of seconds, like 10, 15 seconds. And it'll just only pass by really fast. And that will stop the oxidation process.
Huh.
For when it goes to the actual drying moment, it doesn't continue oxidizing. So we're actually killing the plant once and for all.
Hmm.
Because if you put it in a low temperature, it'll keep oxidizing until it actually dries out and dies. So all the leaves will become black and brownish, and they'll lose all of the properties. So in practice, what we're doing, it's like we're killing it once and for all, so that it doesn't keep on losing properties. So that's like just really fast, just passes through, and then it goes to the barbacoa, which is the space
It's the
where it
rotating thing that you
stays.
sent me, right?
Excuse me?
That's like the rotating thing that you sent me, right? Like where you put
That's
it.
the sapeku,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, oh, that's
Yeah.
the sapeku. Okay.
Yeah. That's
All
just
right.
really fast, just goes
Okay.
by, burns it, and um I can't really translate sapeku into English, but it's something like um I don't know, like when you put your hand on a fire and you start feeling it, it burns, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Like this,
a
like
few
sizzle
seconds, and then
maybe.
you
I don't
feel,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like
Okay.
really
That okay.
fast.
All
And
right.
then
Sorry, I
it
didn't mean to
goes to
cut you off. So then it goes to
yeah,
the
no, it's fine. And then it goes to the actual drying space, which is called the barbacoa, which is barbecue. Literally, that's what it means. The leaves are on a grill, basically.
yeah.
We like 20, like 50 centimeters of leaves stay there, and the fire is made 20 meters away outside of this little building, and the fire comes through a hole in the ground, and the heat comes up in the middle of this little room space, and that's where it stays for the 20 to 30 hours drying out. um, Once it's dried, we do the canchamento process, which is a really thick grounding it, just so that we can put it in bags and put it in our stock condition. And yeah, that then when it's dry, we'll cut it into really thick pieces, and it can stay there up to 6 months.
And that goes from, so when you're doing the canchamento process, that's how long is that for after the 30 hours of roasting of
Right
barbacoa?
after.
Ah, immediately. Okay.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. Once it's dry, we pass it through a machine that'll just cut it roughly. It won't turn it into powder or anything. It's like really big pieces of leaves and really big stems,
Yeah.
just so that it goes in the bag, and
Okay.
big, like 20-kilo bags, and then it'll stay there. And again, with the oxidation process, if we do grind it really really thinly. It'll have more contact area with oxygen, and oxygen oxidizes it.
Ah,
So
okay.
we don't pass it through the grinder. We only grind it when we're going to package it. So there's
Oh,
a someone asks me, oh, I need 50 packets of mate, and then we will grind it just enough for these 50 packets so that it stays really fresh. If
that
we
makes a lot
grind
of
it
sense.
before, it gets bad really fast.
Right. How long typically do you recommend if someone is to purchase your mate? Like, is it a 6 month shelf life from original grinding or
Um, More and more. It can go up to a year
up to a year?
because
Okay.
we do a little bit thicker.
Okay.
Not like the Argentinian style, which is really thick.
Mhm.
It's more like the Uruguayan style.
Ah, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like Baldo, Canarias.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll last up to 2 years, really. 2 years, it's fine. It'll completely change. It'll be a different product that when it started out, but it's still drinkable. It's still really good.
That's awesome.
Um, it'll get a little bit less bitter, and the smoke flavor will also reduce. I
It'll be more
still have
subtle.
no idea how because we seal it. It's completely closed, and if you open it a year later, it'll be a lot less smoky.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how, but it happens.
Oxygen finds a way or something. So
Hmm.
when you're doing this harvest, it's like a 3 day process. How many people are there to help you? Is it do you have any like rituals that you do like to commence like the season or anything like that? It sounds like they're really long days.
Yeah, really long days. So we have partners that do the harvest. So they are two. Oh no, no. This year we have a new one. So we have three farmers that also produce in regenerative style. All of them are certified organic as well. So most of our harvest is made by these partners, their plantations, but we also have ours. But since we started planting in 2020, ours are still young, so we don't have enough to do big batches. Maybe next year we will start harvesting our, but maybe it'll be like 1 or 2 batches at
Sure,
most. Yeah,
sure.
but in 2 or 3 years we'll start harvesting a lot of ours as well. But yeah, we have these partners that they'll harvest for us. They'll bring it for us. Usually they work in 3 to 4 people for
Okay.
1 day, harvesting around 500 kilos. A little bit more, a little bit less, depends on the day. And then when it arrives at the industry, either in the night they harvest it or really early in the morning, the next morning, then we work in 4 people here in the industry. So me and my dad, and then we have this really old mythical creature that works with us. He's like 80 something years old.
Wow. He's a
But
legend.
he's worked with mate since he was a kid, so he knows quite a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice, really special. And then another guy like my age that's starting to learn as well. He's really enthusiastic about it. So we work in four for the sapeco and to put it into the barbacoa. And then during the 30 hours, it's just basically me doing the fire because there's not much to do. Just keep the
Chill.
fire.
Just
Yeah,
chilling, drinking mate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then for the crescimento, right? The when the leaves are dry, again, me, my dad, and this other guy. Um, it's it's pretty easy. Just put it into the grinder and yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So for 1 batch of 500 kilos of green leaves, yeah, that's important. Green leaves that will turn into like 150 to 200 kilos. Um, 8 people are involved in the work directly, of course, because then there's the harvest of
Oh,
the
there's all
wood,
that. Yeah.
and yeah. So, but yeah, basically 8 people, let's say, to harvest dry and do everything for 500 kilos of green leaves to 200 kilos dry leaves.
That's
So
amazing.
it's really labor intensive.
Yeah, and like what you're saying about indirectly though, think about all the other hands that for a cup of mate to get you to have your gourd full of mate,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
different hands. And when you're talking about like coming and to exporting too, just like the transport, everything. So that's
Oh
really
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah. If you add it all up, it's wow, crazy. We're one of the only barbacoa left because of this. It's really labor intensive. It takes a really long time to dry just a very small amount of mate. Like 200 kilos, it sounds like a lot if you're a consumer, but it's not really much.
No.
It's not at all, really. So it's really intense. We produce really small batches, so they're all single origin, which is really nice as well. It's something that we can control. So we have these 3 different partners. When they harvest, only one of them harvests from one location in their farm and bring it to us. We never combine 2 or 3 different locations. So it's all single origin. So
Wow.
every single batch will be different because maybe one part of the farm has, I don't know, the morning sun hits some way, and in another part of the farm, there's more shade or there's less shade. From one farm to the other, it's completely different. Soil will be more acidic, less acidic. So yeah, every single batch is completely different. Since it's really labor intensive, everyone migrated into really industrialized technology and really fast drying methods where they can dry. I've seen industries dry 100 tons per day. So yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
this is like it's very much a local the traditional method of creating mate, as well as it's very hyper localized and hyper it's you get from one farm, single origin, and that really makes a difference in
Yeah.
the flavor.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, something really nice as well. Before my grandpa passed, we had the opportunity to drink our mate together only once, and he drank it and he said, "Wow, this is what I drank when I was little." So it's like it's really the original mate, the one that people drank back then. And many grandpas and grandmas I've drank mate with, all of them say the same thing. Like, "Oh, this is the reminds me of my childhood." So that's like really, really special for me
Wow. So it's like
to
a
be able
portal to
to.
the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's you wow, you're making me want to have a cup right now. That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, the call kind of ended there. But if you're interested in trying Gabe's mate, we do sell it. It's very unique in terms of flavor and like you said, it's that old school, old timey flavor that doesn't really exist anymore because the barbacoa method is a dying method. It's a labor of love, not of optimization. But yeah, I really recommend that you try it. It's a great Yerba or Sherba. So yeah, we'll give you the link for that, and thank you for listening.